Time trial smash, here we go, me and Dan. We had a 200k ride, going towards Delaman, and on the way back we decided to get the second Delaman to Normanville. Someone had we were at average 38k's an hour, and we were like, right, let's absolutely smash it. So you can see we're on the downhill now. I started a little bit late in the beginning of the segment. The beginning of the segment is basically just the end of when you go from Delaman. It's relatively obvious, you just get out of the town pretty much, and that's where the segment begins. Also on these longer segments, it's not around that much. So the length of the segment, I believe, is about 19 kilometers long, about something like that. And it was great fun. It's mainly downhill, rolling, minus 1%, I believe. So you can see Dan's on the front here. I'm doing absolutely zero. It's going 74k's now. This is just so much fun. I actually love doing these sort of team time trial things. And just really pulling strong turns on the front. It's so much fun. But you've got to be like pretty. I'm sort of going to talk a bit more like tactics and technique about how to do this and make sure that you get the most out of everyone, because it's quite easy if you're a stronger rider or a weaker rider to just feel completely pinned or just feel like it's way too easy. So here I thought Dan's probably a stronger rider. Well, he is the stronger rider because he's a lot heavier than me in the climbs, pretty much as fast as me. So on the flat you can really absolutely fly along. So basically our tactic was mainly Dan would go on the flat, I'd sort of go on the descents because I had got a bigger gear so I could sort of pedal, and then behind it's easy to do high cadence, but that wasn't always the true. The true often Dan's on the front on the flats and the downhill and then on the climbs, so it makes sense for me to do it. So yeah, you can see Dan's just done a huge turn. I come round about 500 watts, which sort of shows you sort of what she's doing, sort of 400 watts on the front. So I was trying to average 330 to 400 on the front, and just trying to get super aero and just pull real strong turns. But here it's like 63k's an hour. This is so much fun. I actually love doing this because you feel like you're absolutely flying along. But this one is there's no technical corners, good, which is good. So we're just coming up to a hill now. So Dan's just been on the front, and then I basically come past him. I realise you need to spike these efforts, but the thing you don't want to do is that if you're fresh because you've just been sitting on, you don't want to just come past and hit at 500 watts up here because the other person's just going to get dropped. So the good thing to do on this is just not go super hard, because obviously you're still getting a draft because you're going like 14, 15k's an hour, but you're not going crazy fast. You're not getting a great draft. And also the other thing is just looking behind, making sure that the person's adjusted on your wheel and seeing like how they're breathing and everything. So if you think you're like the other person's suffering a bit, then just try and take a really long pull in the front, or just let the person know if you're like, I'm feeling alright, I'll take a long pull. And then what that means is the person behind can obviously just recover, and then if you're feeling the same, just let the person know. So it's quite good to you need to communicate, because otherwise you're just gonna like end up letting people blow up, or just like you'll ride over the top. So I remember over the top of this, I just pulled it up a bit too much. I got up to like 450 there, and Dan was just like, slow down a little bit because I want to recover. So then you just knock it back a little bit, and then as soon as you're on the descent, pretty much you can just absolutely hammer it, because the person on the wheel on the descent gets such a good draft. So here again, it's on the uphill. You're like on a 4% grade, you really can't hammer it quite a lot, just because the person behind you is going to get a real good draft. So it's sort of fine. But yeah, on the downhills, it's like you can just absolutely hammer those, and then the person in the back is just going to get such a free draft. So it's just like such a free ride, almost doing 0 watts, just because you're going so fast, and like the downhill is pushing you anyway. So yeah, that's the time if you're feeling strong to really do a strong turn. Or if it's just completely dead flat, then obviously they're getting a good sit. And you also have to think about wind direction. Here we basically had a tailwind / crosswind for a lot of it. So like now it wasn't really a crosswind that much, but later on it was. And it's just important that you don't sit right on the line. You want to sit, because the crosswind's going from the right, so you want to sit slightly into the road so the person behind you can sort of draft slightly to the left of you, if that makes sense. So slightly to the side and left of the person ahead of you if the crosswind's coming from the right, and then they can just get a better draft and do even less watts. Often in the crosswind you get a real good draft if you can find the exact perfect place to be. I don't really sure exactly why that is, but it seems to be sometimes even better in the crosswind, just like if it's a block headwind. But anyway, you can see here again over the top. I don't want to go absolutely full gas, but the watts seem to be dropping quite a lot. But I think I heard Dan coming up. Maybe I'm not really sure what's going on here, to be honest, because the watts seem to be quite low down on this part. But maybe I'm just feeling a bit tired. So this is a long ride actually, but it's good doing these training on a real long ride just to try and like absolutely get great training benefit from this. And the next day you really do feel it. I remember I think I did an F at Coach Road after this and just didn't feel great the day afterwards. But Coach Road was a good one. I'll probably link that in the description or put it somewhere. That was a real good effort. That was after this, and then we did Green Hill the day before, so it was a solid 3-day training block before I came home. So you can see again on these uphill stretches, it's really important not to just go absolutely full gas. And then over the top, that's when you really want to press on, but not you don't want to press on, but you don't want to absolutely hit it. So Dan comes past me now, and then you'll just see suddenly, like, it takes a bit of energy to get on the wheel, and then suddenly it's just zero energy. Right, so we're skipping on basically to the end of the segment now. So this is basically dead flat, if anything, slightly rising into a headwind. And I remember just doing, I realised that Dan was tired because he basically had done a lot of work at the beginning. He'd really gone pretty hard. And I was just like chilling out at the back, being like, I should probably do more work. So by this time, Dan was hurting quite a lot, but I was like, all right, I'm just going to absolutely launch it on this bit. So once Dan was on the wheel, I knew he's stronger than me on the flats 100%. So I was like, even if I'm doing like 400 watts, that's probably Dan. Like, even if Dan was sitting next to me, that wouldn't be that hard for him. So if he's on the wheel, he's going to get a real good recovery. So you can see I'm on the front just trying to hold as much wattage as possible. My cadence on the flat depends. Like, often I find it seems to be a little bit lower, but then if I'm drafting, I'll suddenly get up to like 100 cadence and super high. But I don't know, I seem to just prefer lower cadence, like 80 to 90 more than over that. But I know in a race, I'm always super careful when I'm drafting and making sure I have a real high cadence. But on these efforts, I don't know, maybe it's because after a long day, so your legs naturally feel a bit more tired, so you're just like, oh, I'll use slightly lower gear. But anyway, you can see again, on these turns, you just want to try and get as aero as possible. So you can see my little hand on the right-hand side of the GoPro, which is normally just because I'm on the hoods in the sort of aero position. I sort of prefer that position often than the drops. It depends. Like, the drops is good, but you can get more aero in the drops. But the hoods, it just seems to be a bit more sustainable. And also, you don't really have to think about your like back position. You literally just get in there and it's like relatively comfortable. While if you're in the drops, you really have to like think about everything and trying to get as low as possible. So Dan comes past here, and this is where the wind's coming slightly from the right, and I didn't really realise this, so I was actually causing Dan to do quite a lot of work, but you'll see in a bit that Dan basically moves across the road, and I realised this, and then a slot to the left. I think at the moment it's just like, we're pretty protected from the trees, but when it gets open, it really is quite bad. So you can see, all of a sudden we're going 40 k's an hour, and I'm doing like 200 watts on the wheel, 150 watts on the wheel, literally just because of the draft is just so good, especially Dan, because he's a lot bigger than me, which is really good, so it means he gets a real good draft, but obviously it's not great for me. It's not great for him because he doesn't get a great draft off me, so sometimes it's not always the best to be crazily aero if someone is bigger behind you, but I was like, oh, Dan's very flexible, so he can probably get quite aero. So here again, this is when it starts, this is when I think I made a mistake, and I didn't actually go straight into the middle of the road, so Dan was slightly, he said afterwards that he was having to do a lot of work because obviously he didn't get a good sit because there was a lot of crosswind. So again, I'm really trying to do strong turns because I'm like, we wanted to average over 38 k's an hour. I was pretty confident we were going to do it, but I wanted to absolutely smash it. I think the guy got a 26 minutes or something, and we did 23:35, which obviously is like, it's obviously, we should beat the one person solo just because there's two of us, but even so, like, it was a real solid effort. I think I averaged 300 watts for this 26, or 297 watts for this 26-minute effort, which is I think my best ever watts for that long, because I've just never really gone that hard for that length of time. But normalized power is probably more like 315 or something. It wasn't terribly stochastic, it was actually pretty good, to be honest. Obviously, there's always going to be slight, when you pull turns, it's always slightly different. But again, yeah, you can see it's actually quite high wattage on the wheel. That's just because there is a wind, and you can see the flags there. The wind was slightly coming across on the right-hand side. So you can see here, I'm doing 2 big watts, and then I'm like, hang on a minute, that's a crosswind. So I think in a moment, I actually get some brains in action and decide to sit on the left. Here we go, I think. And you'll suddenly see the wattage actually massively goes down. It hasn't at the moment, because I'm just moving up. You'll see now it gets down well below 200 watts. Well, before I was doing 350, and that's literally just the power of the crosswind. The crosswind is really like, it takes you quite a long time to figure out exactly where to sit, but once you've got it, and you sort of realize when the crosswind's coming, it's just so nice because you can just zoom along without even doing any watts. So here you can see you want to be on the left. It's best not to overlap wheels unless you're like quite confident. I don't really mind overlapping wheels because I know Dan knows how to ride a bike and he's not going to fucking like slide across. But if you're not 100% sure, then it's best just to be slightly not too close to them and not overlap wheels that much. But you can see again, this is a pan flat road with this almost felt like a headwind. It was odd. And we're going 40 k's an hour. I'm trying to just do another real solid turn on the front. Both of us, I think, we weren't completely dead, but we were definitely suffering. So I was like trying to do my bit on the front because I hadn't really done, like I was saying before, Dan done a lot of work before, and I was like, right, time to repay. But I feel like these efforts are just, they're so good, such good training, just because they're sort of similar to a race, like you're in the breakaway and you're just absolutely drilling it. And it's so good and just so much fun. Often this sort of type of training is like more specific than actually just doing intervals, because on intervals, like obviously, yeah, it helps with 10-minute power, but if you're doing like a 20-minute effort, often if it's on the flat, then you're doing like these above threshold, below threshold, unless you actually recreate that which a lot often people don't. It's really good training just to do this and just have an absolute smash pass. And here we go. This is basically coming up towards the end of the segment, and me and Dan wanted to get identical time. Unfortunately, we missed out by 1 second. I'm 1 second behind Dan, which, to be honest, is probably like fair play because he did a lot more work than me at the beginning overall. But yeah, you can see we're basically just riding together now and trying to get the segment time to be together. So we're just coming up towards Normanville. It's such a beautiful road. I really like riding down in the Flurio. The traffic generally is way more friendly. The guys everyone seems a bit more chilled out, which I quite enjoy. And there's some real steep hills like Mount Alma. Unfortunately, I lost the footage of Mount Alma, which is annoying. Nettle Hill, I got the KOM, and that's not that crazy. But there's some real good climbs around there, and just general nice roads to ride around. A lot of gravel tracks, which is always fun. So yeah, we're just coming up towards the end of the segment. Just ends basically at this crossroads. So cheers for at the bridge, sorry. So cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
My time just thinking about you every single day, 'cause I'm really